Right, that's that old daily high we've been using as kind of an entry point throughout the week. So at 9:30 we trade higher first, just a wick, holding at the high of the 4 hour, trade lower, bounce. We actually break through this low, revisiting the low of the 4 hour fair value gap. We create that inversion there, and then I want to see that hold. Let's see if we can't get higher prices. Just didn't want to be in front of the news. So there's a trade into it. That's probably going to hold there and continue to accelerate. I don't know if we're going to set up if that's the case. So far that's holding. If this stays low, I might even think about... No, I just kind of want more price action. But so far we are respecting that. So that's like a potential. Just kind of high risk. Because there's no true real setup to go off of there. But we just hit it again, so we probably should hold that. Like if we're bullish, I think we would hold this wick. It ran out enough sell side here. Didn't hit these lows, but right, trading into a new day opening gap as well. So we'll see if we can overtake that. At this point, maybe we start going lower again. Revisit here, right? Because we've traded off previous day high, traded back up into the up close candle, and now we'll start breaking lower. But I like the idea of holding that first presented fair value gap and trying to get maybe high the 4 hour up here. Just look for kind of continued bullishness. Higher time frame, a lot of wicks, right? So we're inside of an hourly fair value gap. We'll see, we'll see. As you said, that would be valid here. So we enter on the wick. Best case scenario, if we can get some type of maybe run on a low. But now we can look for expansion. So we want to see the high of this 4 hour fair value gap now. See if we can get above this. Oh, wrong thing, square. Watching this bearish fair value gap aligned with the 4 hour consequent encroachment. They're overlapping. Right, in my mind, if we can close above that, should set the stage to just keep running higher. If we're going to reject from this area, we may have to be worried about watching price want to run out a low one more time. 5 minutes of wick. Okay, we'll see. Yeah, at this point, I just want to see price continue to push. I'm watching the bodies right now. So bodies are kind of struggling. Oh wait, let's get that perfect. Okay, so yeah, still though, right, watching bodies. We've closed right on consequent encroachment. I want to see a body close above that, not this, because now we've put in the swing high and close back below. So that's more bearish. Right, we trade up and into the premium, hit the high, close below, which means that if we are bearish, this swing high most likely will stay in place. We want to see, as we said, price push up and through this fair value gap, however, invalidate that short-term swing high, close above, and then use it as a area of support. Both AM yesterday are saying yesterday was pretty lame, PM session especially, but we managed to catch something. Morning gave a little better move. So let's see if we can't close above. As we said, we use this here, we did go long off that new or the first presented fair value gap, which is why we want to see price just continue to run up here. Closed above, I like that. This whole week, yeah, I'd agree with that for sure. A lot of consolidation been happening. I mean, Monday, Tuesday, huge days though. Cool, there's expansion. I think I'll probably close at the high there. I want to get the 4-hour fair value gap high. We'll see how this candlestick closes. Because yeah, we just ran that high. So I might just go low hanging fruit. That'll give us 8 handles. This is like my target. Might have missed it. Previous day high. That was my worry. We'll see if we can hold this. Ooh, we closed back below, so I don't like that actually. Probably gonna revisit this fair value gap. We'll see. We're stuck in consolidation, especially NQ clears that high. So revisiting first presented, we'll see what kind of reaction we get here. Still want to see an arrow like this hold us, right, if we want to see higher prices. As you said, bullishness is kind of what we're looking for, at least as far as setup. So if we do end up running out this low, we try to wait until price can maybe get back above and look for another entry there. But so far, first presented, still holding well. At this time, we'd want to see price accelerate aggressively if we're going to clear that high out. As we said, NQ ends up running that high, so right now, potential SMT, we just want to see if price can't catch back up in there. Swing low put in place here. Let's see how this candlestick closes. If this candlestick gets back up into previous day's high, we're going to move our stop right here. Ideally, we just run out this high. So there's the retest. Want to see that close. Stop's actually at break even. Might just full close here. Don't like how we're getting stuck there. Still holding from here. So I have the potential of trying to get back up. Oh, get that out of the way. As you said, just that previous day high, that's what this... Oh, let me zoom out a little bit. Or is that the low? No, it's the high, yeah. So the area that we keep jamming into. Straight back down. So far, just choppy. We're relying on more higher time frame anchor points, so just really looking at that first percentage for value gap there. Back inside it again. Not really too worried, but we already understand we're referencing this multiple times, so stop loss remains underneath it. If we do go higher now, this will be an intermediate swing point, so I would not really want to see price return if we revisit this level. Bullish volume balance, want that to remain open. Stay a true bullish and volume balance. I'd actually want to see it kind of be a traditional to where we hit this close and have this candlestick close bullishly. Getting above the, getting above the bearish fair value gap right here. So I want to see this, right? Don't want to see this fair value gap hold us and close in that volume imbalance. We'll see what these next 30 seconds offer. So that's kind of exactly what we did not want to see. Still have 10 seconds, so maybe we can get a snapback, but we hold at the bearish fair value gap and close in the bullish volume imbalance. Not a fan. I still want to see price get above that. So far, just a chop fest. We're going to exit at the previous day high if we can get one more tap of that. That seems to be where price is getting stuck. If we run into buy side, that's cool. Still want to see these highs up here. This looks pretty clean. Right, this is the right before 9:30. But for now, we have to get above this fair value gap. Ugly movement, ugly movement. First closure inside, bad sign. Right, closing inside means we probably want to get to the low of it. Unless we're just sweeping a low to reject quickly. So we'd want to see, now that we've swept this low, within kind of this low, right? We've cleared that intermediate swing point. So we'll see if this becomes a new swing point right here. Hit the low of it, back into that daily high level. See what we get here. Gonna leave a bearish fair value gap now. So back to back, right? Holding the premium, creating a new premium. This may give an inversion opportunity then. Let's see how it closes. Still really respecting that first presented fair value gap. So small bearish fair value gap right here. Watch and see if it inverts after clearing lows. Or do we continue to hold these and attack some more lows? As we said, if we're going to hold, we would want something like this to where this should be like a protected low we would expect. One, two. So yeah, let's see if we invert that there. So we do invert that, cool. So we should be able to hold that. If anything, still hold this. We seem to want to reference this fair value gap here. All right, so I like that. Since, especially because we've inverted this, we may not get that dig lower. See if we want to bounce from here, give us one more dig. Right, it's kind of a moment where, like we've been talking about all week, ugly price action itself, a lot of consolidation, right? Just hide all this. So have to rely on more key points of price delivery. So first presented, higher time frame, fair value gap. It's like this entry is relying on trying to use this inversion stop all the way below the news candle. Because you actually notice we haven't cleared the high or low of that yet. Inversion holding pretty well. Felt just short of that entry there. Wanted to see another stab of this. We'll see if we can close above this fair value gap. If not, we have a chance of running out this little short-term low. But now that we actually created an inversion here and swept the lows within that fair value gap, this may be the price run that gets us into the buy side here. Once again, watching bodies, how do we close within this fair value gap? In my mind, since we've already spent so much time here, retrace lower. If bodies close back above it, we should at least get a tap of that previous day high. I think buy side here. And then still like the idea of eventually these highs. This is like ultimate goal. Right? If we want to come into 830, that'd be nice, but don't need to be that aggressive. Closure above consequent encroachment, bullish volume imbalance after a bullish volume imbalance here, like that. So want to see this one remain open as well. Continue to push. If this remains open, we should close above the bearish fair value gap, which would let us kind of escape this consolidation and attempt for another run on that buy side up there. And Q kind of in the same spot, so slow delivery, but we're looking for the price run higher. Just commit to that idea. Oh. We leave that open, that is good. Bullish fair value gap as well. So yeah, we'll probably just run into that buy side. There's the buy side. Let's see if we get higher into the, I'm looking kind of at this volume imbalance that's right here. We just swept buy side though, so depending on how we close, that may be all we want to get. Watching the close, gonna move this entry because now we've already delivered into the objective. Once again, just watching candlestick closures, so seeing how we close. As of now, we're consolidating, so I don't know if we're gonna want to escape this high and push into these areas. I'd like that, but if we can get a closure above previous day high, that may give us an indication that we can continue to run. So we open with another bullish volume imbalance. Look how price is kind of getting stuck here. Let's see if we want to push up through this high. As you said, my exit is going to be right at this volume imbalance, depending on how this candlestick closes. So I'm currently in a long right now. Just aiming for this little volume imbalance. If we close within this, I'm just gonna play it safe and close on that buy side. So just watching. Seeing how this candlestick closes. And closed it on that candlestick. Just in case this becomes a swing high, right? No need to reach for an extra one handle. So we're out there. Now we're gonna watch though. We should hold this bullish. I like that we close above the buy side. Immediately look at the most recently formed discount right here. If we're gonna continue bullish, this should hold us. Wouldn't want to see retracements into these lower fair value gaps, to be fair. Just because, right, we've already spent so much time in here. All of this should be balanced at this point. So now that we've left that range, if we do want to continue higher, I just want to see this be kind of as low as we go. If we retrace all the way back inside, more than likely we just continue to consolidate. What up, Steven? Yeah, it was a minute. It was a few months. We'll show you the trades for this morning because we'll be done taking trades. So I got stopped at break even early on. I was trying to catch this buy side first before the news actually came out. All right, so as we hold from this was a pretty simple just inversion. We traded lower into the short-term low. We held previous day high. We expand. So catch the swing low. As we said, once we trade into the high this 4 hour and we close with that volume imbalance, I go break even. And I get stopped here on this candle as we trade back into it. Next trade, 9:30 opens. We have 10 o'clock news again. Right, so I'm waiting until 10 o'clock. We're hoping that inversion holds us. We dig into it. We respect it. At that point, we understand we should hold this inversion. So the entry just comes on the inversion high. Stop loss below this swing point. When this candlestick, right, so original entry was like this. Now when this candlestick here, we get entered, we run up and through this bearish fair value gap. We come back down, create this swing point, and then when this candlestick closed back above this fair value gap, I didn't want to see this low get violated, so I went break even. We come back into it again, unfortunately. But as we said, right, we're still expecting this fair value gap to hold us, so we clear this swing low. We then close back above here. We're watching that fair value gap. As we said, if we can invert that, that's another buy opportunity. So as soon as we invert that, we just go long inside of that fair value gap. And then the exit becomes the swing high up here. And as I said, I'm not getting greedy and reaching for this because I'm watching how this candlestick closes. So as I notice right before this candlestick closes, that we actually can't close above the most recent swing point or the most recent high of this candle, I'm closing. Because to me, that's bearish. Right, unfortunately, we catch that swing high as well. So now at this point, I could really care less what takes place. We want to see this high, like this would be our ultimate goal as we said, but we've already taken our profits out. So now we could just chill and we'll watch what happens. Bodies can hold, wicks can go lower. As we said, we want to see this fair value gap hold us. So I'm watching the bodies once again. Right, wicks can do the damage as long as the bodies remain in that, that's okay. Wicking into the actual inversion here. So that's okay. Now that we've hit buy side, we'll often see the retracements into the untapped discounts. But so far, kind of what we would expect to see. See if bodies want to remain in that push higher. I guess I'll just keep this one here so you guys can see that. We'll be here till about 11. See if we can get that buy side ultimately. So this to me, like, right, if we were going to look for a potential entry, if we missed one, I'd be waiting to see if we can't close back above now this area. So the volume imbalance paired with the fair value gap. If we were able to close above that, I would use that as the entry and have this swing point be our protected low to reach for that high up there. And then ultimately, I really do like 830. That's pretty clean, right? All these areas here. Let's see what we get. Boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy. As we follow this, okay, bodies close underneath previous day high. We get above it again, we close below it again, and again we close above it, leaving behind a bullish fair value gap after returning into the volume balance here. So really, right, as we say, if this candlestick closes above, we should just run. I'd almost refine the entry like something like this to be more precise. Nice. So there's that volume balance. Look at the reaction there. Quick rejection. Volume balances, we use lines. Look at that volume balance there. Okay. So yeah, at this point, right, I would expect that this fair value gap should hold us paired with the previous day high. This low becomes the protected low. And you'd be able to enter something like this. If you want to be real aggressive, really we shouldn't even reach into the low of this fair value gap. But we might just run now that we've kind of found support above this, especially if this remains open bullishly. Hey! Jesus. So we hold in the short term. If you're looking for a retracement, that's what we would expect to see. Right now we want to come back into it. Boom, we'd be tagged in there. Now let's see what would happen. Right, in reality, we're using this whole fair value gap. As we said, this would be our protected low here. Oh. So as we enter on the volume balance protected low, but we wouldn't want to see this volume balance technically be closed below. That's like what my point would be. Because if we do, more than likely we just flip. Letting in one candle right through it. And that's fine. No trade for us, no harm, no foul. That's why we just simply follow once we meet our objectives. Right into that. Right, we love that. Our target becomes the market placing swing point high. So this would have worked out if we would have held for one more run, because our stop would have never been messed with. But as I said, no need to fight for an extra handle for no reason in high resistance liquidity conditions. So straight back down, I want to see if we want to revisit first presented fair value gap again. I like that idea. Right, at this point, we do have the inversion, but I almost dismiss that. I think we just fall straight back into the first presented. If we get below that, I don't mind trying to get into this area here, actually, as a short, potentially. Because a lot of sell side in here now, right? Phantom trend line, so we don't use trend lines, but retail traders trying to buy in here. Punish all of them, run out this low. So this kind of becomes our area of interest. Especially if we were to invert that. Yeah, that'd be nice. All right, this is the classic YouTube model right here. Short-term high cleared. Breaking structure through a low with displacement. Breaking the low while leaving behind the bearish fair value gap. All right, so that's kind of the textbook setup right there. Boom. Trading into volume imbalance, so a premium while clearing short-term highs. Now that we've hit that though, I wouldn't take that short. Had this candlestick traded into this first before we got into there, right, that would be like a scalp. And now bouncing off of this is already pretty sensitive, so I just wouldn't trust. Could easily bounce back up into that and through it. Hey, but we're holding those lows nice. That's a lot of liquidity right there. That's too clean. Let's just break right through that. Sell side here, and then I don't have the... Am I missing the other one? Oh shoot, see how I was losing it. That other daily volume imbalance. Cool, okay. Don't remember, we're still inside this 4 hour. So all of this is taking place inside of here. At this point, just kind of reviewing. I kind of like to just watch how price interacts. And I mean, look at just the precision here. Even though, right, price is hideous, the reference points is just so precise. Right, 0.5%, midline, like quarter level here. Every single one of these wicks just perfectly smashing into these levels. So body's chilling right here on the high. As we said, in my mind, bullishness remains until this wick here. Closing underneath first presented will be an early indication. But especially because we still have new day opening gap. We still have midnight level. So like we could even do something like this. Close within that. Boom. Straight back up. Which honestly I wouldn't mind. Like let's see if we can't invert. Well, right here. Perfect delivery into new day opening gap high. Just love price. This is why I love trading. So satisfying. Okay. Now we're getting interesting. Wicks are gaps, especially if we wick below it, close below it. Potential little scalp right there. Let's see. Sell side. So real quick, let's just kind of go, where are we at? General, overall. A lot of bond, okay. Highs cleared, boom, break a low. All this looking poised to run out a low, right? Yeah. Short. Let's see. Hold the wick still. But notice where we close. I bet you that's the lower quarter level of that fair value gap. Oh my, perfect. Price is perfect. So that's a new swing point. So I'm actually, oh, there's a fair value gap right there too. Look at this. Don't miss it. Bang. Formed where? On the upper quadrant perfectly. So yeah, we watch that. Let's move this. Invert that, we go long. If not, this holds us bearish. We've closed underneath consequent encroachment with a premium in the upper quadrant of the first presented fair value gap. Which would mean more than likely we want to continue to explore lower and attack the most recently formed swing point that was just created, which would be here. The new day opening gap, however, will offer us some hesitation. But if price truly is bearish, this is more of a speed bump. Bodies tell the story. First body to close below. So now we should attack that low for sure. Midnight level at least. I like sell side here. Potential to actually use that. We've left the wick. We've left that. Interesting. Very tempted. Nah, Friday. Profits on the week. We'll go paper. Discipline. No need to get back something. If you feel the bug, we go like this. Ooh, but no closure below here. So now that's the only issue, right? We're weighing which one of these PD arrays is more important, first presented fair value gap or new day opening gap. In my mind, because we've already cleared buy side up here, and we continue to reference this area, I would feel that the first presented fair value gap is more important than the new day opening gap. So we're right at its midpoint right now. Let's see if we can't get above it. If we want to clear these equal lows, midpoint should hold us, right? Consequent encroachment of that fair value gap here. Bodies should not close above this. If we can somehow run out a low though, that'll be nice. Clear sell side, boom, then retrace up for another run higher. Just maximum carnage. We didn't clear the lows. NQ did though, so yeah, that'd be potential SMT as well actually. Let's see what we get. I'm watching this. We invert that. And we have a bullish volume imbalance, but it's right on the high. Perfect delivery into consequent encroachment. I'm watching to see if we leave that open after that perfect delivery there. So we're holding this inversion for the time being. We haven't closed above it, we've only opened above it, right? That's the important thing to note. So you don't want to get fooled out by this candle because we can negate this candle completely. We need to see closure above it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Perfect high delivery. One-sided. As you said, equal lows here. Let's give us something like yesterday afternoon where we just run out the sell side, get the reversal back into a premium. I like that. 1040, so maybe 1050 to 11. Next 10 minutes we get in the sell side, boom, we get a setup to go long. Another swing low. Perfect midnight delivery once again, just the precision. Closure below it again. Look at the bodies closing below midpoint of new day opening gap. So just like we saw here, we should venture out and clear the most recent low, which was this candle. So yeah, I still like sell side, but this is kind of what I think price is reaching for here. Not going to do anything until we get into that area. And then we'll kind of reassess what happens after that. Perfect touch, equal lows, one tick below it, maybe. Nope. That's funny. Equal lows should get ran, closure below. Look how we use these levels, closing below midpoint, new day opening gap. Volume bounce opens perfectly on it, just like we see up here. No upwards delivery indicating heavy prices. Perfect equal lows. Twice we should run that. Let's see, boom. Okay, so there's sell side. So now attention goes to how do we close here? Is it a wick? Is it an actual closure below? Two minutes until the 5 minute closes. So would like to see 5 minute candlesticks closing. So I may have to wait a few minutes. But for us, what I'd want to see, right, if we're going to go long, I want to see, I like that we left a fair value gap here right at the midnight open. Boom, even though it's small. Because that'll give us a potential flip point. So if that stays open, it does, and we close inside of the range, we do, and then we can invert that fair value gap. The most recent swing point being protected to target the premium inefficiency. This area of price is just going to be so, or I guess offer a lot of resistance. We'll see what happens. And if we don't get it, we just follow it lower. We look for it to keep drawing down here. Because yeah, we have sell side right there actually. Equal lows. Okay, so I think, hold up. Take that back. I think we go for these equal lows. I missed those in London. We've left the we leave the 4 hour fair value gap. Yeah. So I like shorts actually a lot into daily volume imbalance. I would try something like this. New day opening gap holds us into the daily volume imbalance. You might just run for it though. First closure below the sell side, so if we can get a retracement, that'd be nice, but if you just want to run with speed, we'll run straight into that. It'll be GG's. Maybe then we get the bounce actually, so we'll keep following. Ran right into it. Okay. So yeah, only setup would have been, as we said, new day opening gap here, or first presented fair value gap. So now we're in a higher time frame daily volume imbalance. I'm just gonna see if we keep falling. Just trying to see, we may get that huge weekly retracement on that candle. All right, so we're holding that volume imbalance. Let's see what happens here. Too much going on, hold up. Just want to hide this. Just trying to look at price, pure price. All right, clear the low. Fell short. What's that sell side actually? Okay. So maybe we want to get into this first presented fair value gap from yesterday as well. This sell side pool is kind of my area of importance is what I'm looking at. If we purge and revert that area, especially coming off that daily volume imbalance, that's just a large stop. That's why it's tough. Retracement back into the 4-hour fair value gap though. Really interested to see what we do at midnight. Because all the higher time frame candlesticks have closed below that low, which to me means that we probably want to keep moving lower. So as we retrace up into these premiums, we'll probably reject. All right, so like look at this 5 minute here. 5 minutes closed below after respecting the premium. I'm trying to see if we leave a fair value gap here on a 5 minute sense, 2 minutes until that closes, because then that could be another target for us right, as we continue to reach lower. Which side are we on? 50-50 for me. We're already secured our profits though, that's why we chilling. If we get the 5 minute candlestick to close back above the midnight level, because we've already fully closed in this. So right here, right, purged that liquidity, reverted back above it. If the 5 minute closes back above midnight, I do think we could run higher. At least in an equilibrium or midpoint, excuse me, of that 4-hour fair value gap there. As we said, new day opening gap, however, and first presented fair value gap. There's going to be a very strong area of resistance for price to get through. $10.49. So once this candlestick closes, that'll be the 5 minute candlestick. Yeah, 5 minute did close above that. Okay. So I think we could start pushing higher. Clear that liquidity. This is just being interesting. Like for me, if I was going to try to find an entry though, I'd almost use that liquidity. Because if you notice, right, we have volume imbalances right there. So for me, a setup long would look like this. And then I would use probably midpoint of the wick. Might just run though. Yeah, pretty much what we expected, like what formed yesterday afternoon. Market will tend to repeat, right? Slightly different signatures, but the same kind of framework. Right, for those that went around. We run out the lows here, left some highs behind, created some inversions, and then ran for those highs. Ugly delivery, albeit, but still the same idea. Clear out some lows. In this case, not really highs behind, but so now we're using the inefficiency. But let's see. As we said, very strong resistance here at the first presented fair value gap. So if we get above that, that'll also create the breaker here. And that should hold us pretty bullish, to be honest. So don't want to get in too early, want to let it print. But if we do something like that, maybe our new entry would be the actual fair value gap. So far we reject though. So may reject it. Let's see what we get. Because notice within this leg low to high, no real inefficiencies, right? Volume imbalance here, but this candle hits that. Volume imbalance here. This candle isn't able to get into that, so that may be a potential area. But new down close candle. So yeah, if we left that down close candle there, accelerated, closed above, low high, lower low, breaker. That'd be good. 10:52 right now, so we'll wait until about 11:10, see if the macro doesn't want to deliver us some 5-minute bearish fair value gap right now is what we're getting hit at. We're stuck at. So we hit that 5-minute perfectly. Go to a 5-minute, you'll see that. Boom. Right there. So honestly, best case would be 5-minute closes above. 2 minutes. So by 10:55, if the 10:55 candlestick closes above the first presented fair value gap, that to me would set up good chance of longs. Because right now, as we said, right, 5 minutes more bearish. Let's just hide everything. Follow it. Short-term high cleared, break lower. Hold at the breaker. Break lower again. Retrace into the small fair value gap. Break lower again. Right, retrace into the fair value gap. So let's watch and see, do we start overtaking some of the discounts left behind? Sell side there. Midnight. Sell side there as well. Oh, okay. What's up, man? Hello, hello. Message retracted. Is that y'all doing that to me? Probably y'all, I'm guessing. So we said, I want to see how this candlestick, this is the 5-minute close. So I'm trying to see if we close above that first presented fair value gap. Swing low right there inside that fair value gap. So that could be a, oh, okay, wrong button. Oh, we do close above that. Look at that. So to me, actually, that should be bullish. This 5 minutes, the only thing giving us hesitation. Let's see what happens with this, though. I like that. Quick 1 to 2, maybe to end it. 10:55, 5 more minutes. If we leave a fair value gap there, we'll try that. Because we could easily just hold that 5 minute and reject, but I like the idea of running against the grain real quick. Revisit previous day's high again. I'd want to see this fair value gap stay open and for this candle to actually close above the 5 minute though. That'd be like best case. Consequent encroachment. And then we'd use the first presented fair value gap. Stop underneath the most recent swing point here. Oh my, perfect. Oh yeah, that's perfect, okay. Let's do it there. That's exactly what we would want to see. So we'll try to get in there. We may hold the 5-minute inversion. That would be the only issue, is that we stay, I guess, get held here. But I'd like to maybe see the high of it hold, run real quick into first presented fair value gap, then continue its bullishness. Stops also underneath the new day opening gap, right? So it's kind of two areas of support paired with the actual bullish fair value gap. Paired with, I'm looking here to the left, low, high, even though they're equal highs to the lowest low, we close above it here. Up close candles become the breaker. So we're actually going to use one tick higher. As we often say, we may have missed it, but we're going to use this fair value gap here instead. So round number. I'll be weak if we just ran from there. If we do, that's okay, on sides. This week was hard. Yeah, it was a pretty choppy week. Really relied on precision. Right, weeks like this are where, kind of as you saw, we have to rely on higher time frame anchor points a lot of times. So there's the tap of first presented fair value gap. Now we'd want to see it move away. If we get stopped here, right, we'll call it a day there. It's about to be 11 o'clock anyways. Low of first presented fair value gap. See if we keep getting lower than that. More worried about the bodies. Body closes. Ooh, bearish volume imbalance. So probably stop out here. That volume imbalance would need to get overtaken quickly, personally, for me to feel confident in that. Right, so if we can get back above, remember we're below that 5-minute fair value gap on a 5-minute sense. So this candlestick, when it closes, is going to be the 5-minute candlestick closure. Let's remember. Still really in the 5-minute bearishness. This candlestick was able to close above. I wanted to see the next 5-minute also close above to confirm that. But right now we're just holding it. So we'll watch how that 5-minute can close. If we can push back above, that'd be best case scenario, right? Held the 5-minute. What up, dog? What up, Darkly? Let's see. Looks like we're gonna get. What are we gonna get? Almost want to put there's equal lows. Close on consequent encroachment perfectly. Once again, just precise price delivery. Open with a bullish volume balance, but a bearish fair value gap. So now opposing PD arrays, if this trade works out, we need to close above this quick. Need to negate this bearish fair value gap, leave the first presented fair value gap, close above both, use those as support to accelerate us into our exit up here. So far, that's kind of what we're seeing, right? We want to see this remain strong, close above both. Now my attention would go here. This is where my next area of concern would be. Unfortunately, for us to get 5 handles, we still need to trade in it. So we'll just hold this. It's 11 o'clock now. We'll wait till about 11:10. Swing low, nice. Watch how we clear that high. We're going to close half at 5 handles. Which is actually the quarter level of this fair value gap, I'd want to say. We're at the lower quarter level of that. Oops. Let's see, very interesting week. Tough time determining if it was market conditions or poor actions. I would say probably more conditions than anything, man. I'm sure it makes it harder, like conditions like this make it harder to trust your actions, of course, right? But overall, just kind of sloppy delivery every day. Takes a lot of experience to see through the nonsense. So now bullish fair value gap. We do have equal lows here, but that's okay because, right, as we say, we don't want to get too sidetracked by the equal lows. I'm seeing this more as price just holding the new day opening gap and refusing to go lower, which is I actually like to see that. Right, showing that the consequent encroachment doesn't want to get breached, which is a good thing. So now I want to see, basically, notice bearish fair value gap immediately overtaken. Right, 1 minute BPR here. Want to see that hold us and accelerate us into at least this bearish fair value gap. Then we may reject and run lower, but we'll see. 11:03, so got about till 11:10. We'll wait till see what happens at that point. To be completely honest, wouldn't even want to see this first presented fair value gap get breached, but especially because we've just ran this high. So let's say price does play around and be ugly. Running short-term buy side, it may want to revisit short-term sell side, which would be the equal lows. Which is why, to me, it's pretty important that we hold this fair value gap, or else if we give it up, equal lows will probably try to get traded into again. Only saving grace is there is, right, this liquidity void here, the volume imbalance. These ones are a little different because normally you'll see when a volume imbalance gets created, right, like here or here, when the candle opens higher, it'll trade back into the previous candle before closing. Whereas with this candle, we create the bullish volume imbalance and there's actually no delivery to the downside at all. So true liquidity void there, right? Price often is going to want to revert into those areas, even if we want to remain bullish. So we've hit the high of it. We'll see if we get the low of it. If we could have got the low of it, I would have liked that and then move away. But so far, still holding the high of the first presented fair value gap. So we're seeing things that we want to see, right? These areas are continuing to support us in the short term. Just a matter if we fall through that or not. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so there's the low of it. So now if we're going to remain bullish, we have repriced into that void, into the volume balance. If we close above, especially if we close back above the first presented fair value gap, I'd want to see price run from there, not spend more time inside of it, especially closing below it, because then, as we said, equal lows would probably be the target. So wicks can do the damage. It's more so about what the body does here on this candlestick. I'm looking at this slight bearish fair value gap as well. Want to see price push through that to indicate that we want to break through premiums. So the candle holds the actual volume imbalance, but we can't get above the first presented fair value gap. So to me already, We need to see this move aggressively, try to close above it. If we keep doing this, getting stuck inside of it, more than likely we just consolidate within there. As we said, I'm looking at this small bearish fair value gap. I want to see price close above that. Or we'll pull it up just so you guys can see. So now I'm watching this area in price. And I want to see price push through that, close above it, make an attempt to run into these highs, close above the highs, push up into the fair value gap. If this candlestick does close above this here, especially with how ugly we're moving, right? It's about to be 1110. My stop will get moved right underneath the first percentage fair value gap, because now we've delivered into really the lowest area that I said I wanted to see, which is that liquidity void here. Now that we've gotten that huge move up, that's good. That's what we would expect. Pushing right through that bearish fair value gap. We want to see price close above. It does. So for us, stop goes right below that first percentage fair value gap. In all reality, it could go right here below the low, which is what we'll do. And now we'll see if we can't get the partial at 5 handles and then the full closure at the previous day high. Once again, right, just high resistance all the way around. Gonna leave a bullish fair value gap. So now that needs to remain open, kind of like we saw here. Right, we have a bearish fair value gap that gets overtaken with the bullish fair value gap. We wanted that to hold. It is able to, even though we did trade lower into the volume imbalance. The actual fair value gap is able to hold the bodies. Right, you'll notice that. So now same idea is we trade into that volume imbalance. We have a bearish fair value gap that gets overtaken with the bullish fair value gap. This one is a little better slightly because in my eyes, we actually close above this, indicating more of a bullish break in structure rather than like this, right, where we just wicked it, seeing that as a short-term high being cleared. So with this fair value gap, we would need that to hold, to be honest. Like if we keep revisiting here, which we can, that's just sloppy delivery. Once again inside, so probably revisiting. Consequent encroachment, just hit the bearish inversion, right? So bullish inversion. We'll see if we overtake that. We don't want to see us move quickly away. Can't even get to 5. So ugly, so ugly. Let's see, NQ can't get that high. So right now, potential SMT forming as well. NQ unable to clear its high. So we'll see if we end up rolling over on ourselves. When NQ can't clear the high, dollar blasting higher. Indices usually go lower as dollar goes higher. So let's see. For us, as we said, we'll allow a attempt back into the first percentage fair value gap. But if we're getting into this low again, we just don't want to be involved. And we'll call it a day. So there we go. Let's see what this candle wants to do. Can we get back above? For the time being, this becomes an inversion, bearish. So we need to reclaim that bullish, or else we're probably just going to get stuck here. Just terrible delivery. I don't even want a partial. I'm just going to go full pull at 5 handles, which is there. Get me out of the trade either way. As we said, this low becomes protected low. We should not revisit this because this volume imbalance has already been rebalanced. We can visit the high of it, that's okay. Just like we see perfectly there. Now that the swing low has been put into place, same idea, especially if we close back above the original bullish fair value gap. This low I don't want to see violated. Notice how we're using these consequent encroachment or the quarter levels. Close right on it. Okay, yeah. So at this point, we just need to go. Right, we're spending too much time. Need to see price push up, get us out, Get into that fair value gap. 5 handles will be good. If we hit that fair value gap, I'm gonna go break even because we can continue with this hideous delivery. Right, high, come back down. Clear a high, come back down. Clear a high, come back down. So if we clear this high and finally reverse, I just want to be out. And I'll be fine with missing, even if we do go up higher. Equal highs. Oh my, what just happened? There's the fair value gap. Oh, jeez, excuse me. How do we close? Can we close inside of that and get us our 5 handles? Please and thank you. We do. Get me break even, please. All right. Now get us out of the trade. There it is. We're out. Oh. Oh. Spoke too soon. Let's see. That's funny. Da 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 da. So watch, I want to see us use the low of this as support. Just quick. Run that high. Da da da. Bullish volume imbalance. Should be good to at least run that high real quick. I'd want to see the pretty classic boom, hit this candlestick close. Don't go any lower. Run straight for this candlestick's high. Perfect. Oh. 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 Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Volume imbalance. We give that up. Break even. Break even inbound. They don't want us to be great. Yikes. Bearish. Inversion. Bearish inversion volume imbalance. Need to negate it. One candle chance, right? Negate this candle's action instead of, oh, yeah, we're getting stopped. Hello. Look at that rejection. We need to see what this candle did. Open with the bullish volume imbalance, boom, close bullish. Open bullish volume imbalance, close bullish. Negate the previous bearish moves. Run into the equal highs, buy side. Get us out. At this point, risk-free trade, so if we get stopped, oh well, unfortunate. Ooh, that's ugly, that's ugly. Get above at least consequent encroachment. We can't. We do reclaim the volume imbalance, but the bearish inversion. Need to see that volume imbalance high be respected. Push up and through, reclaim this as a bullish fair value gap. Uh-oh. Like we said, that fair value gap is causing us some issues right here. This is a 1 minute. We need to see this volume imbalance hold us if we want to get this buy side. We can run out this low, I guess, but ooh, we don't want to see that. Okay. I think we get break even. Oh. There it is. Okay. More than likely we just revisit this, but as we said, I'm out. We out here. Break even trade on that. We'll run through the actual, where's my other one? We'll run through the setups that we took this morning as well. Just too much time, right? I just don't like being in consolidation. That's really all. With how many times we've hit this fair value gap. I just want to see price run. We're at break even. Probably might run from here, but I'm okay missing that trade. Especially after we had this success this morning. So we'll go through real quick. Just kind of clear all this nonsense. So for me, as we mentioned, first trade of the morning, we're just trying to make a little inversion play. Price had traded down, created this bearish leg. We had cleared the short-term low, picked up the sell side, and then held from our previous day's high. We had this bearish fair value gap that had been respected as we traded lower. So when we displaced through it and left the bullish fair value gap aligned with it, that was my entry. Stop right below the most recent down close candle and that previous day high. Right, and for me, I was trying to target this inefficiency up here. Understanding we had news, however, so as price traded higher and as we closed above the 4-hour fair value gap that's right here, I went to break even. So when price moves against us, we get stopped to break even for that first trade. We then wait for 10 o'clock news, right? So as price is heading into 10 o'clock, we had visited the new day opening gap. We had then cleared that low and then accelerated back above, creating an inversion fair value gap. That was also the first presented fair value gap. So heading into 10 o'clock, I'm just watching to see, right? I want to see price basically hold that first presented fair value gap and attack some buy side. So when this candlestick creates this wick and then holds from the high, to me, that's already confirming that we can expect that fair value gap to hold us. So we go in using the new day opening gap as our low, as our stop loss anyways. And then I was just targeting the volume imbalance, right? That low hanging fruit up here. As we mentioned, we end up moving our stop to break even as price creates this swing low and then closes bullishly. We end up getting taken out here as price trades into our entry. We're still not thrown out. We understand that this fair value gap can still hold us. So this low then creates, right, a new swing low and closes back above the first presented fair value gap. So we're still respecting that area. And now our attention went towards that inversion fair value gap right here. If we can invert that, especially after clearing a short-term low, right, clearing sell side, creating the inversion, that should hold us bullish. So as this candlestick closes above, we just get long on the next candlestick. Right, next candlestick becomes our inversion entry. Stop loss under the most recent swing low here. Right, under new day opening, or the first presented fair value gap, excuse me. And then I was going to target the volume imbalance, but as we noticed, right, once this candlestick sweeps buy side and then this candlestick fails to close above this candlestick's high, I just close manually on the old buy side. So securing us over 5 handles and a nice little ENS model to wrap up the week. So yeah, overall, right, choppy delivery, just really got to be precise with it. Quick entries, quick exits, take what you can get. And as we said, price may still run up into this buy side, but just too much back and forth for me in here. Not really interested in all that. So yeah, going forward, as we said, that'll be it for us. If you're going to be around this afternoon, I really don't have solid bias either way, which is why I'm fine just walking away. A lot of sell side in here. If we do want to hold from this bearish fair value gap, I would, I guess, watch if we close back below the first presented fair value gap here, we may want to revisit like a daily volume imbalance, but for us, we'll call it a week. Appreciate you guys hanging out for this week. We'll be back on, let me check real quick just to see what next week's news looks like. pretty light week next week, actually. No impact or no high impact news until Thursday, so we'll probably just be back on Monday morning. Yeah, we'll be here Monday morning, 9:25 Eastern, just before the opening bell. Until then, hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy it, and we'll talk next week. Take care, everybody.